So as every minute, hour, day, week, month passes and we get closer to December 4th, I can't help but think about the upcoming Metroid Prime 4 Beyond reviews. Now, I'm not really one for reviews. I've never really needed reviews in order to know whether I was going to enjoy a game or not. Usually by the time a game is about to release, I'm already 100% either sold on it or no, I'm going to take a wait and see approach. Now, reviews, yeah, they can tell you whether a game is buggy. They can tell you the length of a game. They can tell you the difficulty of the game is, whether too difficult or not so much, could have been a little bit more challenging here and there. But for the most part, reviews aren't really my cup of tea. I'm not one who frequents the Metacritics and things like that. I don't care about those kinds of things. I've never pretended to. So understand, when it comes to Metroid Prime 4 Beyond reviews, I know that many of you need to see reviews for this game. Why? Because so far, they haven't sold this game on anyone yet 100%. No one's actually seen enough of this game to know whether the game is actually going to be great or not. Right now, we're all just going off of the developer's pedigree, which also is in question because of the gap in releases. 10 years is crazy, So, yeah, there's a lot of conversation to be had there. And that's why for this game, reviews are going to be fairly important, I think. But before that, hopefully, right? Because, wait, it is October right now. Yep, mid-October at that. And so far, the journey seems like, did Samus even pack her bags yet? Because we trying to see the journey start, Nintendo. Start, Nintendo. Today, Nintendo. Or yesterday, Nintendo. Maybe tomorrow, Nintendo. You do got an app, Nintendo. Maybe you could drop something today, Nintendo. Now, anyway, yeah, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is definitely going to be one of those games where people are going to have the eagle eye on reviewers. But for me, it's going to be a little bit different because as a person who doesn't really care too much for reviews and things like that, obviously I'm going to check out what people are saying about this game because it's my most anticipated game of all time. But it's not something where I'm going to be hanging on every word and be like, oh, if one person says they didn't like this or they didn't like that, I'm not buying it. I'm pretty much guaranteed to be buying this game no matter what. The only way I don't buy this game is when Nintendo does some kind of direct or overview video and everything in that video is like, oh yeah, that's absolute garbage. All of it was trash. It looked awful. I can't believe it showed better in the trailers that we thought weren't even all that. What the hell is happening? That's the only way it'll probably now become something where I'll be like, you know what? Now I'm actually going to wait and see. Now I actually want to see some reviews, read some reviews, see different takes on this actual game because everything we saw was, oh my God, it looked awful. Like if that was the scenario, then yeah, I can see me caring about reviews a little bit more. But I don't think that's what we're going to be at all when it comes to this game. If anything, what's going to happen is we're going to see the overview trailer. We're going to like the overview trailer. Or if it's a direct, we're going to watch a direct. We're going to like the direct. We're going to be like, ooh, I can't wait. A lot of people are going to just go start pre-ordering and smooth sailing from that direct to December 4th launch and beyond. No pun intended. Pun intended. So I just want to give 5 warning signs, really, that you got to look out for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond reviews because not every Metroid fan is the same. And I think over the last few videos, you understood that I've made this separation between the ones who can accept change, the ones who are always going to say Super and Prime 1 are the best. And if those are your favorite, understand, I respect that that's your opinion, your favorites, those are yours. Like I would hope that you would respect my favorites are my favorites, So I respect that. But understand, there's some people who take that, and I think, again, I've made this clear, but they take that love for Super and for Prime 1, and then they put on their best police uniform and start marching around at every goddamn Metroid convention talking about, that's not Metroid, that's not Metroid, you're not Metroid, yeah, and it's like, whoa, relax. You don't get to police the series. You don't get to stifle the series, keep the series stuck. This is a problem with Halo. All the time I've said this with Halo, but it's a real problem with Metroid too, where we at the point where because a desert, there's nothing more isolating than a desert. The fact that the desert is open and you can just move freely and there's like no doors up, doors that you have to open in order to. The rules, you're not following the rules. This isn't Metroid. Gunpei Yoko will be turned in his grave. You know those guys, the ones who just go from 0 to 100 based off the littlest, tinsiest, tiniest bit of something that even resembles change, different. They go wild, right? You know those individuals. So just before we get into understand, there's three kinds of Metroid fans. There's the kind who's open to the series growth, wants to see the series grow, wants to see the series go beyond what it's been for far too long, because we feel like this thing should have already been in its Tears of the Kingdom arc and all of that kind of stuff. But instead, Metroid almost feels like, put it like this, Metroid feels like it's almost being caught up to by Xenoblade. And there is no problem with that. That's awesome for Xenoblade. That's really bad for Metroid. It's really bad because Metroid's been around for as long as Mario, Link, and Kirby. Xenoblade literally just popped up 2 generations ago. Late in the generation it popped up. And anyway, look, man, the three kinds of Metroid fans is the ones that are open to anything, open to things like a ME, open to things like even, you know what, other M, yes, even misses like that, open to things like that, and aren't immediately going to see a desert area and go, it's the end of the world, I'm canceling my pre-order. No, they're going to be intrigued. They're going to look forward to the direct. They're going to look forward to the overview. They're going to look forward to more information about the game before the game comes out, you know, with excitement and intrigue on their mind. I feel like I fall under that group, right? Then you got the ones who they're always going to compare whatever the series does to Metroid Prime 1 and Super. Or even the ones who are going to compare the series to their favorite games. But they're not just going to profusely hate the new thing. But they're always going to compare it to their favorite game. Like me personally, I'm not comparing Prime 4 really to nothing until I'm done with it. Like, I just want to experience it. Like, the comparisons I make are, oh yeah, the opening looks like Prime 3. But when I play the game, I'm not going to sit there with like, you know, this microscope saying, oh yeah, that's from this, that's from that, and this from this. Oh, they didn't do this from that. They didn't do this. Oh, this one did that, and this one didn't do it. Like, I'm gonna enjoy the experience, and then there'll be conversations to have after the second, third, fourth, fifth playthrough where it's like, oh yeah, this compared to that, and then the comparisons will happen. I'm trying to enjoy this experience, right? And I think this second individual will also, you know, want to do that too, and won't put the damn game under the microscope of comparing it to, oh yeah, Fusion's my favorite, or Metroid Prime 2 or 3 or whatever. They're not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? So you have those, and then you have the ones who I was just talking about, you know, again, trying to police the series. Like, those individuals who are going to play the game instantly, just hating on this, hating on that, hating the ones who are like, yeah, I'm not pre-ordering, and sit there on Metroid videos because they are fans of the series, but they those kinds of fans who just like want to be hate watching something, you know, like you see that all the time with certain shows that go for super long. It's like always somebody in the comments like, this thing is still on. Like, why you here then? Let the people who enjoy it and go on about your business. Since clearly you on to bigger and better shows and things like on video games, go on. You know what I'm saying? But nah, they got to be here and try to, you know, just basically shit in the well for all of us, you know, else who try to actually drink the goddamn water. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. And I think y'all got to understand, just because somebody works for this publication that you feel because, you know, everything is shiny, they got some money behind them or whatever the case, don't ever think that these dudes, these children, because that's what they be out here too, like, don't ever think that they aren't fanboys, that they don't have that in them. We all have some form of that. Some of us have ascended beyond, you know, all that tomfoolery, but others are always going to be on that. You know, the ones who speak on things and bring up things and only want to talk about things when they can be negative about a thing, or like you'll see people right now making a lot of content, you know, straight up grifting off of Nintendo and . You got the ones who doing it off Xbox, and they don't own Xbox, claim they don't like Xbox, they never use Game Pass, but they got the most to say about it. It's absolutely incredible, you know? And you can see it, man. You know, when Microsoft was buying Activision Blizzard, You saw a lot of fanboy stuff happening. We was like, damn, people ain't even hiding it. Look, it is what it is. And I'm telling you this to say, I'm going to get into these 5 warning signs. Warning. You know, you got to run. The timer started. Samus Aran, get out. You don't want to be there. Look, I'm just messing around. These aren't all warning signs. Just things that you should be aware of. Some are going to be probably positive. You know, I'm going to be like, oh, look, if they say they like this one and now they like this game, that's a positive thing. It's going to be levels to this, so don't think that I'm just saying, oh, yeah, if they say this thing, automatically bad, automatically ignore them. Nah, and I'm having fun with this at the same time, too, so don't take it so serious. Now, let's get into it. Oh, and just in case I didn't make it clear, I'm not trying to police anything. You're free to read whatever reviews you want. And you're free to not take these warning signs. I'm just going to tell you that me personally, I'm going to look out for these. Because, well, a couple of these 5 categories are definitely going to be a red flag for me to let me know, yeah, I don't really got to take this individual's opinion on this game that serious. I'm not saying it ain't valid. I'm not saying they ain't got no other valid points to make because they hit all of these. And I'm not trying to put like a rule set of like, oh yeah, you can't say these things because automatically your opinion don't count. It's not really that. I'm just saying, you know, you got to give the little side eye a little bit like, wait, hold on. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's start with number 1. If you know the reviewer, they've been around for a little while, so you trust this reviewer. If this reviewer ever says something along the lines of Metroid Prime 3 was a wannabe Halo, I've played every Halo game multiple times. In the same way that I've played every Metroid Prime game multiple times. And you know what they actually have in common? Not a goddamn thing. Not a goddamn thing. It's like, oh, Arbiter kind of looks like a space pirate. Oh, Master Chief is in the suit. Yeah, he's in the suit. Now you want to compare the suits? Because one actually does something and the other one is a glorified shield for Captain America. Because it ain't even the Iron Man suit for him. Because he's not allowed to fly around or do nothing crazy. God forbid he uses a jetpack and does a super ground pound in Halo 5. It's the worst thing in the world. And he could dash side to side. It's the worst thing in the world. What's the point of this guy having a suit if he can't do nothing? Samus, on the other hand, could jump twice in the air, screw attack out of that, turn into a mothball, drop bombs, like run super fast and break through damn barriers and all that. Like jump, skyscraper height. Like, it's insane what she could do. Nothing there the same, you know? One is Captain America. One is juiced off some real alien stuff. You know? Chozo stuff. Completely different. But they like, yo, Ray, you know that's not what they talking. They're not talking about Samus and Master Chief being similar. I mean, are you talking about the weapon design, the gameplay weapon? Because it's completely different. Samus is not running around picking up ammunition from various enemies and things like that. She's picking up ammunition. She's not using the damn weapons. You know what I'm saying? And Master Chief uses the weapons, picks up the ammunition. It's completely different. Completely different. One is gonna stop, scan, and learn about the world and do whatever, I don't know, their forensic stuff. The other is gonna brute force their way through the whole thing. I need a weapon. And keep it going. That's it. Samus has that same energy. But it's different. Now you want to talk about gameplay and game design. How many times are you really struggling to, dare I say, guys, open doors in a Halo game? Almost never. Maybe a door is closed until you wreck everything in that room, and then it opens up. No different from a Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, or Doom. And then you go through. At least in Doom, you actually do have to open doors at times. And there's different color keys and things like that. There's similarities there, but they're not the same. Oh, because the opening of Metroid Prime 3 was crazy bombastic and was perfect in theme with what Metroid has been selling us in writing and cinematics, you know, from the Hunters games before Prime 3, you know, and showing us the Federation. Like, they just leaned into it because they had more power. You know, they want to do more with the series. They want to see it grow. That makes it Halo. It's a completely different game. So I always hated that comparison as a fan of both series. I always thought it was a lazy comparison to make. So if I see that lazy ass comparison being made today, yeah, I'm going to be laughing about it and ignoring almost anything else you have to say because they're not similar at all. Saying, honestly, Metroid Prime 3 is similar to any Halo game, or any Prime game being similar to Halo game, is the equivalent of you saying Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are exactly like Grand Theft Auto 3 and the upcoming Grand Theft Auto 6. That's crazy. That's how wild it is. Like, they're not close. Oh, but they're both first person. They're both sci-fi. Then look at all these similarities. All right. So many, you know how many games you just described in the sci-fi genre? You just described Titanfall 2. Like, we could literally sit here and go down the list. Killzone. We could go down the, dudes in suits and run. What are we doing here? So, yeah, design-wise, Metroid has always been, I've always felt comfortable, and I still feel comfortable saying, one of one. There's nothing else like it out there. At all. You've seen clones of Doom games. You've seen games similar to a Halo. How many games have you ever seen like a Prime? Exactly. So, yeah, for me personally, that line right there, Prime 3, that wannabe Halo line, if it pops up like, oh yeah, this feels like it's carrying those elements from Prime 3 where it just doesn't know whether it wants to be Metroid or it wants to be Halo, I'm alive. And whatever tab that is going to get closed. But anyway, number 2, if they act like Prime 1, and this is a big one for many of y'all. I know a lot of y'all going to disagree with this, but again, I said listen, we all fans. We all fans on different levels and things like that of different games. But if they act like Prime 1 is leagues better than the other two in their reviews, you get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's already telling me that your opinion is skewed, and I know almost where you landed. Again, you could be one of, the 3. But remember, 2 out of those 3, one is a fan of Prime and they can be open to other things, and one is a fan of Prime who use that as a weapon against all other things. And if you act like Prime 1 is leagues better than the other 2, yeah. I know, man. It's coming off like, damn, bro, like you just shutting people down if they like Prime more than the other 2. But what if they're saying it's, Prime 1, but way better? I'm going to say, so how much better than 2 is it? That's exactly what I'm going to say. So how much better than 2 is it? And 3, actually. Like, how much better did it get? Because I just felt like, there was better games than Prime 1. So what do you mean? See, that's a statement that's going to hit different for different individuals. This one isn't that bad, again, but it's just one where you got to question the rest of the review. All right, let's see what else they say. Because if they go, oh, yeah, Prime 1 was league better than the other 2, and this game doesn't even come close to the other 2, again, there you go. That's the one right there where you got to be like, oh, so what you're saying is, it don't really matter what you're saying, actually. Tab closed. Like, nah, man, I'm being dead serious. Like, it's just with Prime 4 Beyond, after waiting so long, after playing the series, forever, after not keeping Super and Prime 1 on this pedestal like everyone else. And understand, I love Metroid Prime 1. Like, I always liked Metroid. Metroid Prime 1 made me fall in love with the Metroid series. And then Super Metroid got absolutely demolished to me by Fusion and Zero Mission. That back-to-back, like, those 2 games, I was like, yeah, like, it made going back to Super, like, why don't they remake this to play like that? I want to grab ledges. I want to, you know what I mean? Like, that would be nice, but it just made it feel ancient. And that's good. That's what you want as the series goes on. You want it to make the old games feel ancient. Like, you want to go back to a game, but, oh, man, if this was Breath of the Wild, I would have been able to just climb this wall. But it's not, so make your way around, you know what I mean? Find some keys and do what you do. But anyway, yeah, Metroid Prime 1, amazing. Made me fall in love with it. But 2 and 3 just made it just grow for me, that love. And Dread is just like the best to me now when it comes to the 2D games. And so while Prime 1 never remained my favorite, because when I played 2, I was like, oh my God, this is even crazier than Prime 1. And then when I was done with it, I was like, that was a way better experience. It was more intricate and things like that. The boss fights were deeper, more creative. All of that, like it was just so much better. And Prime being the first impressions, I get all that, and I know that a lot of people are always trapped in first impressions. They do it with their relationships. They do it with first book, first movie, first album. The first is always the thing that, because again, it's that hit that you first get of the whatever it is, whatever it is. That first impression can leave that lasting mark. And yeah, I'm one that I understand that, but I just felt like art direction, music, gameplay, all of that, everything just got raised as the series went on. And yeah, 3 pivoted a bit. It said, all right, let's bring it, let's do a little balancing act between 2 and 1. And I loved what they did there. You know what I'm saying? So Prime 1 being leagues better than the other two, and like a negative connotation, I guess. Yeah, that to me is one of the red flags. Now number 3, well, it's the other one. If Super Metroid is still your favorite game in the whole series, and you reviewing Prime 4 Beyond, I'm gonna be honest. Here's the reason why. You're not wrong. This video is like, you just shitting on Prime, on Metroid fans all over. No, I'm not. I'm just saying, listen, you're not wrong if Super Metroid is your favorite. But I'm not gonna take you serious because, you didn't like Prime better than Super Metroid. That's wild, because I did. And I think a lot of Metroid fans like Prime 2 and 3, the trilogy, more than any of the 2D games. And here's the thing. It'd be like that with Zelda. It'd be like that with Mario. And me, let me just explain, as a fan of these IPs, I'm not really the one who sits there and acts like 2D Mario could never be better than 3D Mario. Because I think there's a lot of 2D Mario games better than 3D Mario games, and 3D Mario games better than 2D. And the same thing with Metroid. Like, I feel nowadays like playing Dread and running through Dread, because it's so fun to do. Like, all the 2D games are always easier to run through. You can run through them in 2 hours, 3 hours, depending on how you play. So playing Dread and the way it feels, and the melee mechanic and everything, like just going back to it, and because of the visuals and it being like basically a mix between the best parts of Other M and a lot of the good parts of Prime games mashed together into this new thing. It's just fun to go back to and play over and over. And then you got the little callbacks like the Cray fight and stuff like that it lets you feel the vibes of the old Metroid game, clear as day, but in new, beautiful everything from gameplay to sound to. And going back to that game, I feel like now it's almost like that's the one I go back to the most. So technically, it's like, is that my favorite Metroid game right now? Is that my favorite Metroid game to actually play right now? You know what I'm saying? And I really don't know how to answer that right now. I'm thinking about it on the fly right here as I speak. But I'm just saying, like, it's wild to me. If Super never been topped for you ever, like in gameplay and sound and design, like it's just remained the best, I get it. Because when you do play Super Metroid, the vibe there, there's a vibe there. And that's the thing. Prime carried that vibe. So 2 and 3, they kind of go hand in hand. It goes with those individuals who just love that. What's the word? Like, it's the texture of Metroid being that design, that I don't know if you could say if it was a bit darker, grittier in a sense. It's still super colorful and everything, but it still had like a darker, grittier tone, maybe you'll say. But even though 2 is like the darkest of all the Metroid games, period. Actually, maybe all the 2s are, right? Like 2, Samus Returns, and Prime 2. It's pretty wild. But anyway, yeah, like if Super is your favorite game in the whole series, it's like not the worst thing in the world, because this is a 3D game, not a 2D game. So for me, again, these aren't all going to be like, straight up red flags. It's just things to look out for. I think what you should look out for with this is the fact that Super Metroid potentially being topped by this game for somebody who says Super Metroid is their favorite. That's massive. That's, I mean, maybe one of the biggest compliments. And some will say, but wouldn't the Prime 1 almost ring true just like that? I'm like, yeah, it would. It definitely would. But Super is like the one. Like, listen, the Metroid fans who Super Metroid is their favorite, I feel like for them to actually even utter the words, like, I like that new thing better, I think would be like the end of the world. It's not. I can't. They can't even say I like that new Metroid Prime 4 Beyond video game better than Super Metroid. They'll never say that. They just gonna be like, I might like that new thing better, and that's it. And keep it at that. They might like that new thing better. That right there. That's a like a 15 out of 10 review. I'm just saying that right now. So look out for that. Because I'm telling you, there might be one. And if there is one, oh man, we won. We won. Just getting one more Metroid fan to actually, let go of the goddamn bear hug that Metroid, Super Metroid to be exact, had on them. That it's just like, yeah, they just can never, let up with that game. Like that's the one that when they think Metroid, that's the one they think about. And I get it, the sound, the texture of that game, it's pretty much one of one, But you could say that actually for a lot of the Metroid games, they all try to be fairly different. But anyway, let's get to number 4. If they've been saying the game looked bad, yeah, I'm like, yeah, so nothing's gonna change their mind. If you've been saying that this game looked bad and then every twist and turn being like, oh, I think there's something wrong with it, almost like you've been teeing yourself up, because I don't think that you've seen enough. Nobody, again, to say, oh yeah, it's gonna be 10 out of 10. I could say that like, yo, I'm hoping it's gonna, but we haven't seen enough. There's no proof in that. There's no signs of that, And for the one saying, oh, the game is gonna be trash, you have zero grounds to stand on that. Either way, neither side is right. We both still waiting. Nintendo, we waiting. It's October. The journey. Damn it. What is it? Did Samus not unlock Viola yet? Because she taking her time. We going to have to wait till November? I thought that vehicle went 700 miles per hour. Where is the hype train? Well, it's not a train. It's a bike. But you get what I'm saying. God damn. Anyway. Yeah, so if they've been saying the game looked bad, yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what you think when the game comes out, because it might change your mind. You see what I'm saying? Things to look out for when it comes to Metroid Prime 4 Beyond reviews. Again, it could be good, it could be bad. They're just things to look out for. I'm just giving you some heads up. Just having fun with this. Listen, the last one. If they said things like, that's not Metroid, when they saw Viola, or when they talk about Dread's game design and the world design, and if they're quick to dismiss things that, just are new swings by a studio, by creatives who want to be creative with an IP and push the IP into new, greener pastures. Yeah, if they always lean into, that's not Metroid. They saw Viola, they reacted to that like it was the worst thing. God forbid, how dare they just try, it's not Metroid. It's like, why would I ever take anything you say serious after this? Why? And if you was just doing the fishing for click, well, stand on what you put out there, buddy. Stand on what you put out there, buddy. Because I'm tired of that's not Metroid. Who are you to decide what's Metroid? If the next Zelda game, they decide, Link got to fade. All right? He got to fade. He don't got the long blonde. He's still blonde. He just got to fade. He's in a sci-fi universe with a lightsaber-like Master Sword. Fee is still in it and everything. Fee is still in the sword. That is the blade of evil's bane. That is it. The exact one. Just, they've been through a lot of things. There's been a lot of things that happened between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom era to this future they are with flying Eponas and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and vehicles and skyscrapers. And it's like, this is a sci-fi Zelda. God forbid. I'm like, listen, all right, let me ask you a question. Is there mad puzzles in the game? They be like, yeah. Do I still upgrade stuff? Yeah. Do I still get bombs and stuff? Yeah. But now you could do like Batman and stick them on the wall, or you could throw them. Whatever. All right, cool. Do I got magic potions and magic meter? Are there fairies around? Oh yeah, fairies. They got like these strip clubs and all that. Like it's like goddamn cyberpunk and all that. Yeah, the fairies was always freaky in Zelda, especially in Zelda 2 when they took you in the house. I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. Now I'm getting excited. And then they like, yeah, you know what I mean? You could have your, again, actual horse horse that can fly and all that, or it's a cyborg horse, or you can have a vehicle, a motorcycle like Link's had in the past, God forbid, and they just building. Oh yeah, Zelda is this, a queen of this whole land, of this whole city of Hyrule or whatever the case. But then there's this other neighborhood, and it's ran by the Gorons over there, and then this other side is crazy evil, and that's where the Lord Ganondorf resides. Like, and there's dungeons and keys and maps and a compass. Are we back to that? And they still got shrines littered all over, puzzles like that. Yeah, it's Zelda. Oh, cool. When it come out, because I want to play that. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't care that it's not fantasy, and now it moved away from the Lord of the Rings style fantasy and all that. Like, I'm fine with that for it to dip out for one game into something completely different. Oh, now we got this steampunk, cyberpunk style Zelda game. One game, God forbid, one game. So who's to say what's not? Like, why would I put? Like, if that's what Onuma and team wanted to do with Zelda, why would I want to be that fan? Especially when I only got one life. I want to see all kinds of takes on the things that I love. I want to see all kinds of creative take swings with the things that I love. What I learned is, as you proceed in this life, when you go years without a Star Fox game, years without an F-Zero game, years without, a Predator movie or whatever the case, when you finally do get it back in a quality fashion, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully Star Fox could have his Prey moment, and so could F-Zero and all this stuff like that. But, when these things come back and then they find like a new voice and they're telling new stories, whether it's a Alien, Romulus, or now what we getting with, Predator from Prey, Killers to Badlands coming up now, which all look crazy cool, and the series looks like it's thriving the best it's thrived since the original. That's awesome to see. You know what I'm saying? And how did we get here? Oh, look, this individual's taking swings, pushing the law forward, doing something with the IP instead of it sitting there dormant. Is there going to be people there saying, "Oh, that's not my Predator. Oh, look at the way the Predator, blah blah blah. Oh, Predator, why they doing that?" And like, you ain't even letting him cook. Y'all just think y'all know the story based off 2 movies in the past and some comics that might not even be canon, and now you want to police the whole IP. Like, come on. And I'm glad that the audience is responding to everything they've been doing with this Predator stuff. And it's that, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you decide to bring something back, I'm going to be open for it, and I'm going to be happy. When Sega dropped that trailer, and I'll wrap this up soon enough now, when Sega dropped that trailer, when they, listed off all the games coming back, from Crazy Taxi, brand new Streets of Rage. I know Streets of Rage was out with the amazing, previous Streets of Rage that came out, but a new one, and it's like 3D, almost like a Power Stone running around beating people up. And then they showed a Golden Axe. Yeah, they had the old man in green and everything with his axe. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be crazy. They show all these different games. Like, Sega is dipping their toe back into their legacy. Their Sega Genesis legacy, to be exact. I mean, a little bit further than that, too, Crazy Taxi. But still, like, that was amazing to see and got me crazy excited. And I'm always thinking about those games. Can't wait till we see one again. Can't wait till we see one. Like, every time a show comes up, I'm thinking about those games. Like, oh, will we see one now? Like, the Game Awards going to come up. I'm hoping we see one of those games. Maybe Golden Axe, something like that, because I love Golden Axe games. So I would rather see those games around and attempts being made with them than it's just like, yeah, nobody cares at all to even do anything with them. It's sad, and I feel like some Metroid fans might not understand that you wanting something to stay like that old thing and not, look for potential growth is a bad thing for the series, which kind of, dare I say, makes you a shitty fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should want, because you got Super, you got Prime, you got your favorite. I got 2, 3, 1. I got the trilogy. We all got our favorites. We can always have those, right? We do have them. Ain't nobody taking those games from you when they take new swings and new attempts at new things. So you should be automatically open as a fan to be like, yeah, let's see what they do, because this could be my new Super Metroid, my new Metroid Prime 1, 2, 3, my new Dread, my new favorite Metroid game. This one could be it. Wouldn't you rather go into something like that, with excitement? So that's just where I'm at. There's going to be a lot of comparisons and a lot of trying to, stifle this series. There's going to be reviewers who say, oh, yeah, I like this stuff when I was here, but everything else outside of that, classic Metroid Prime gameplay, I really didn't care for. It's not that it's bad, but it's just not Metroid. So, wait, is it good or is it bad? And the whole package comes together, right? Because there's a difference between you saying, oh, yeah, I like all this Metroid stuff the most, the Metroid Prime, the main stuff, that you see when Samus gets off Viola. But yeah, all this other stuff, yeah, this is all a great video game here too. And it all comes together to make something really great. Like, you just can't be like, oh yeah, I just like this stuff better, because then it's like, what are you saying? Be clear. Like, it's a lot. And I know y'all might be wondering, like, why are you talking about this so early before Prime 4 reviews even drop? Because if you watch this and now you have this in the back of your head, when you go to those reviewers and see the things, you might notice and be like, oh yeah, this is what Rad was talking about right here. I'm just saying, it's just food for thought. Because I don't want you to think like, oh yeah, this game is going to be lesser than, or da-da-da, because you got to understand, who is this coming from? Like, how open are they to change with this IP? Because if they aren't, a lot of what they say really ain't going to hold true. It's going to be just, the feelings of a fanboy, the feelings of a fan of only their favorite entry in the series. And that's lame. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, like, it's just, and that's on all things, whether we're talking Metroid, whether we're talking Halo, like, it's wild. Look, they're about to show off a new Halo game next week, and I look forward to reacting to that. It's supposed to be Combat Evolved. What they showed last year for that game, it all looked cool, right? From the, oh, this is, concept, whatever. And I was like, yeah, right. They probably making Halo 1 over again, to start the series over, to try to almost like give it a breath of new life. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing like doing Gears of War E-Day. Understandable, right? But I instantly said, I never want to play Halo 1 again. The constant corridor. It was too samey. Remake that game, retell that game, and do something new. I want that. You see what I'm saying? But I know a lot of people going to be like, oh no, but it ain't that old. It ain't Halo 1, so I don't like it anymore. They didn't introduce the flood in the exact same way. It wasn't about, like, so they're going to automatically compare. Oh, the gun don't sound the same. Oh, look at that little line on the gun. Oh, I got that little detail. Master Chief. Oh, look, he looks a little bit thicker there. Or blah, blah, blah. The point is, these IPs that got the stank of the legacy that came before on them, and they can't kind of wash it off, it's annoying for me, like, to actually be interested, excited for new entries, and just see people automatically hate on the thing because it's something even remotely different, It's just disappointing. So just know, look out, man. There's going to be a lot of funny takes with this Metroid game that's going to be taking a lot of big swings. And then keep in mind that this is also a Switch 1 game that's probably going to get scrutinized, like if it's a game that was built from the ground up for the Nintendo Switch 2, and that's going to be weird too. There's a lot to look out for, y'all. So keep your eyes peeled as we get closer on the journey to the release of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Now, do me a solid. Screw attack that like button. Screw attack that subscribe button. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.